Hi everyone and welcome to another video from DisplayRepair.com. In this video we'll be talking about should you wash the engine bay on your car? Should you do it on your own? Should you let a professional do it? What you should avoid and other important topics. So stay tuned. DisplayRepair.com. Be sure to visit us at our website DisplayRepair.com where you can find more useful car and driving tips. To answer the question, should you wash the engine bay? The answer is yes. You should do it, but under certain circumstances. Why am I saying this? Well, lots of people when washing the engine bay use the same rules as they would wash the car interior, for instance. By the way, we've made a specific video for how to wash your car interior at home. I'll leave a link so you can take a look. Know that when washing the engine, you have to use a certain set of rules in order to safely wash the engine. The engine and the engine bay is full of various components and parts that are sensitive to water, especially highly pressurized water, that are sensitive to aggressive cleaning substances and so on. And if you don't do it the right way, there is a good chance that you won't be able to start the car again. Besides that, you may cause damage to various components, especially the electric and electronic components, which may cost you a lot of money to repair. So I don't want to discourage you. Lots of people do it in a DIY manner at home successfully. So if you have the will and you have the means, do it, but you have to follow a certain set of rules to be able to start the car again. We'll be talking about those rules later in the video. There are two main reasons why people wash the engine bay. The first reason is aesthetics, the second reason is practicality. Regarding aesthetics, all of us like to see a nice, neat and clean engine. Another reason is practicality. First of all, if you had some sort of problem on the engine, especially some sort of leak, oil leaks, a coolant leak or anything else, when you wash the engine, you save the engine and most of its components from these substances. Lots of them are aggressive and can cause damage, and you save the engine from getting even more dirtier in the future, as dirt and dust from the road easily get stuck onto the oil and everything else and make the engine even more dirtier and form a sort of a layer of filth around the engine. The other thing that's practical is that, for instance, and this is again sort of connected to aesthetics, if you want to sell the car, every buyer likes to see a clean engine. So when you raise the hood and it's all nice and shiny, it sort of gives more value to the car. There is a lot of debate on the topic, how often should you clean the engine bay? Some don't clean it for years and some clean it every couple of months. All that I can say on this topic, and as a warm recommendation, is that once a year or even once every 2 years is enough. If the engine has no problems, no leaks, and if it has all the protective undercovers, when you wash it in 2 years, you won't notice any big difference. Now, where should you clean the engine bay? There are two places where you can do this. You can do it at home in a DIY manner, or you can take it to a professional. Again, you can do as you like. I've done both options, and all that I can say is that taking it to a trusted professional is a much better option. Why? Well, because most of these professionals, first of all, know what they're doing. Second, they have all the needed equipment, which is a key factor in doing this the right way and getting the best end results. Also, most of this equipment is expensive. The cleaners they use are expensive, so buying them to wash your engine once a year is not economically sound. Also, when they do the job properly, the end results are as good as new, believe me. Okay, the engine looks like it just came from the factory. If you do it in a DIY manner, that is okay. But I don't know, don't expect any spectacular results. The more meticulous and precise you are, the better the end results will be. But again, from personal experience, it's not that good. So on this part, I would recommend, if you have the means, take a car to a professional. You should be very satisfied. You should avoid highly pressurized jets of water. A very popular tool for cleaning the engine bay is a pressure washer. Yes, the results are good, but if the pressure is too strong, it can easily damage things like small hoses, various plastic parts, connectors, wiring, and else. Even worse, it can force water into parts that would otherwise be well protected. Electronic components are especially sensitive to this. Avoid flooding the engine compartment. Besides high pressure, avoid keeping the water jet in one place for a longer period of time. This can easily cause a flood and a pouring of water into places where you don't want it. Again, electric and electronic components are the most sensitive to this. Don't hurry too much, but don't be slow either. A fairly quick pass is the best. Avoid aggressive cleaning substances. You can't clean the engine properly without cleaning substances, but buy the ones specifically made for this task. Various homemade recipes and household cleaners are popular, but can easily damage some parts, especially ones made from rubber or plastic. Again, wiring and electronic components are a major thing to avoid. When buying, ask specifically for an engine cleaner. Also, be careful where you apply it. You don't have to spray it everywhere, just on parts that are greasy and filthy. Also, make sure to flush out all of the cleaner properly so there's no leftover. Disconnect the battery when washing the engine bay. This is something that I highly recommend, although lots of people don't do this when washing the engine bay. Especially do this if the battery terminals are exposed. Water and electricity in the same vicinity is never a good idea. There is a serious risk of causing an accidental short circuit, for instance, which can cause further huge problems, even like damaging the ECU. An exception from this may be batteries that have their own casings and are protected, but if you want to be 100% safe, best take the minus battery terminal off before you start. If you don't know how to do this, take a look at another video we've made dedicated specifically to this topic, how to replace a car battery, where you can see how to do this. You can't keep your engine bay clean if you don't have all the protective underbody panels and splash shields in place. Lots of cars, especially older and used ones, are missing these panels. Most common reasons are physical damage, like from potholes, not returning them when maintaining the car, not properly tightening them, and so on. When in place, these panels form a lid that protect the engine from water, mud, and snow splashes from the road. So these essentially keep the engine bay clean in the long run, and if you really want to keep your engine bay clean, then better invest money in installing these panels instead of frequently washing the engine bay. To conclude, if you decide to wash the engine bay on your own, be careful and pay attention to what you're doing so you don't cause yourself any problems. Also, the engine bay isn't meant to be washed that often. Once or twice a year should be enough if everything is okay with the engine. Also, and again this is my recommendation, if you have the means, take the car to a professional and trusted car wash or service and let them do the job. The end results will probably be much better. So that's it for this time. I hope the video helps. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for your time and thanks for watching.